Back once again with another review for the Keanu-thon, and today talking about and reviewing Constantine, 2005 film. And great movie. Based on the DC Comics slash Vertigo Hellblazer graphic novels, as it says on the back. I believe the character was introduced in the late 80s, I believe. And what's interesting is even the late 90s, get a little bit more into this, but they were thinking about doing this with Nicolas Cage. So, yeah, like I said, I'll get into more information about that. And I'm just getting my notes up. But basically, the story here is you have, of course, Keanu Reeves in the film. He's our main character, John Constantine. And he's a demon hunter. And when he dies, he knows where he's going. He has a one-way ticket to hell. Unless he can do a good, goodwill, or enough goodwill to get to heaven. And you have Rachel Weisz's character in this film as this police woman character. And her identical twin sister, commits suicide, but she doesn't believe that, she believes something else is going on here, something that she can't explain. That's when she looks to John Constantine for help, that there's something more at work here. And that's when demonic forces start to come through, trying to break through the human world, which leads a battle between John Constantine and Satan. And that's the story pretty much. But, let's get my notes up. But, like I said, it's a great movie. It's a great comic book film. As far as like budget, it was around 100 million, made 230 million. Now the director of this film, Francis Lawrence. Now, of course, he would go on to direct I Am Legend, which I like. I remember not really caring for the design of the creatures. I thought the CGI was pretty bad. And the ending. But that's one of those films I like to revisit again. He also directed the Hunger Games movies, which I've never seen. But he's also directed like music videos for Aerosmith, like the song I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Yeah, he directed the music video for that, as well as other artists like Janet Jackson, Britney Spears, Green Day, the band Garbage. But I thought, Francis Lawrence, I thought he did a good job here directing this film. I thought he did a great job developing, this character and his battle, between, good and evil, taking on, and especially like, scenes in the film, which I'll get more into, but I thought, the director, Francis Lawrence, did a great job developing this character, developing, again, this world, and so on. And, I guess, talk about the cast. Yeah, of course, Keanu Reeves in the film. To me, he does a great job as John Constantine. And like I said, Nicolas Cage apparently was talked about. Yeah, it says right here that, okay, the film goes back as far as 1997. In 1999, Paul Hunter was attached to direct. Warner Brothers hoped that this director could begin filming in 2002 with Nicolas Cage attached to star in the lead role. So it was around that time, not the late 90s, as I thought, but they had started developing it in the late 90s. But the director dropped out, and there were some lawsuits there. Then Reeves became attached to it in 2002. Alan Moore, the original creator of the character, had been disappointed by the previous adaptations of his other comics from Hell and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He refused credit for the film and asked that his royalties be distributed among the other creators. So, and like I said, based on the Hellblazer graphic novels from DC Comics. But, I was talking about the cast. Keanu Reeves does a great job. Rachel Weisz, I thought she was good in the film, good support. And yeah, some other cool actors in here. Shia LaBeouf, his character, I didn't mind his character. I know some people out there don't really care for Shia LaBeouf, but I thought he was good in the film as his character Chaz, a guy that does the driving for John Constantine. Um, he had this character Midnight, played by this actor. I'm not going to mess up this name. I know I've seen him before in films like Blood Diamond, and I believe Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in that. He's this character Midnight as this witch doctor that, Constantine would sometimes go to for, some guidance, but the witch doctor doesn't want anything to do with Constantine or interfere with his war, so to speak, his battle. You have this character of Beeman, played by Max Baker in the film. You have this priest character who is played by Pruitt Taylor Vince. I recognize this guy. I remember he was in Identity. He was in that film. This character of Balthazar, who was played by Gavin Rossdale. You have Tilda Swinton in the film as this angel, Gabriel, this androgynous, angel, sort of a half angel. But she was cool. I liked her character in the film. I liked Tilda Swinton. And of course you have Peter Stormare as Satan. And I thought he was a really good Satan. Just a really, again, creepy Satan. And the look of the character. And, the tattoos and stuff. And he really personified evil in this movie. Which, of course, later on, he would have come back with Keanu for John Wick Chapter 2. I remember he was in that. And some other stuff. But, really good cast, from Rachel Weisz to Shia LaBeouf. I thought the cast, Tilda Swinton, of course. Peter Stormare, I thought did a good job as Satan. And so, like I said, really good cast. And, really cool scenes as well. I mean, of course, the film, starts off with, the Spear of Destiny. We could talk about that, but you have this one scene where this girl's possessed. And even when the film starts off with her, you see her in, like, the corner of the ceiling. It was kind of creepy looking. And then Constantine, his character has to get the devil, not the devil, but the demon out. So he uses this mirror and to trap the demon. And I thought it was a really cool scene. Really cool scene there to kick off our film. And then you find out some more, things about Constantine, how, he has this aggressive lung cancer. So, he's dealing with that. And, really cool scenes throughout. I mean, and then in that same scene where, he brings the demon out of that girl, he's like, this is for your boss. And he gives the middle finger. So, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's really fun. But, and then like I said, I'm sort of looking at notes here too, but, he comes in contact with Tilda Swinton, that, if he earns enough goodwill, he'll get, he can go to heaven. And then, like, some really interesting scenes where, he would go to hell, and hell is this, like, wasteland. And I know, like, some people out there that the CGI is not the best in some shots, and I understand that. But I like the way that hell looked. Again, it was, like, wasteland of, and certain, like, demonic forces, demonic beings that you would see in hell. Because Rachel Weisz, the one scene where he sits in the chair, he has his feet in this bucket holding this cat. And I don't know, just the way that scene was directed was kind of creepy, because you would have, like, it would focus in on the cat's face, and then just like that, Constantine is able, he goes to hell, and, he sees Rachel Weisz's sister, and, and so some of those scenes where he goes to hell, even, that one scene where Rachel Weisz's character's in the bathtub, and, you don't see her go to hell, but you get the idea. It's a quick flash. So again, I thought the look of hell was interesting. And like I said, I get that CGI is not the best in parts, but especially, with some of the demonic creatures that come through, the demonic forces. But I thought, to me, it worked well. I mean, you know, I enjoyed it. And especially, later on, he has some scenes where Constantine, goes into this room because Shia LaBeouf's character had put this, you know, had put a cross and this tank of water to turn on the sprinkler system. You have like a room full of like demons. He's like, my name's John, and y'all can go to hell, or something like that. And, the sprinkler system turns on with the holy water, and they all start to disintegrate, and you really cool action scene there with the shotgun, like that weapon right there. I forgot what he called that weapon, but like a spear gun. And he's just blasting demons away, and just a really cool scene there. And Constantine kicking ass, taking names. But then they get to the final act of the film, where this demon gets inside Rachel Weisz's character, and Gabriel tells Constantine that your road to salvation begins tonight. And that's where Peter Stormare's character comes in, and he wants to take Constantine. And you got the one cool shot where Constantine's being he's on his way to heaven, and he looks back at the devil, that's Satan, and he's like gives him the finger, Peter Stormare's character. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place describing scenes, but yeah, I mean, just a lot of cool moments throughout the film, a lot of cool scenes with Constantine, this character, taking names. And especially with that weapon right there, it's like a spear gun, like some of the weapons and the toys that, this character has in the film is really cool. Then I forgot about that one scene earlier where Rachel Weisz is with Keanu on the sidewalk, and the lights start to go out, and he's like, close your eyes. And that's where all these demons show up. And, they're after Rachel Weisz's character. So yeah, I mean, again, a lot of, cool scenes throughout the film, cool shots. And, written by, mention the writer real quick. I actually wrote his name down here. What am I doing? Screenplay was written by Kevin Broadbent. Now, this guy, he also wrote the screenplay for The Glimmer Man with Steven Seagal. And he wrote the script for Suburban Commando. So, yeah, the same guy who wrote this film also wrote Suburban Commando. And that the Spear of Destiny prop, it was the same Spear of Destiny that was used in this film was also used in Hellboy. So, yeah, that's interesting. The Holy Shotgun, that's what that thing's called, the Holy Shotgun, yeah. But he also, Keanu Reeves gave that to the director. He bought the prop and he gave it to the director, so that's interesting. This film is included on Roger Ebert's most hated list. Really? Roger Ebert's most hated? I don't get that. But, yeah, I mean, it's one of these films that, to me, it was a well-made, comic book flick. And again, I really, dig the supernatural, aspect of this film. And, it's like my review of, The Devil's Advocate. That kind of serves, that's kind of an appetizer for Constantine. Because in that, he faces Al Pacino, his Satan. And in this, you have, Keanu as this demon hunter. And you have Peter Stormare as Satan. And a really, a lot of cool, shots of these demonic forces. And then you get shots of hell. And the way he goes to hell is interesting. I thought it was well done there, well directed. And, yeah, I mean, again, like I said, one of the things with the film, yeah, the CGI in some shots is not the best, but overall, Constantine is a great comic book film, and I thought Keanu Reeves did a great job here. He was kick-ass, and definitely in my top 10 of Keanu films. So, yeah, Constantine, great movie. But next up, I'll be talking about and reviewing a Scanner Darkly. So, stay tuned for that, and have a good one.